a series about board games and if they can be played only with what comes in the box.
Without going online for FAQs or rules clarifications.
This time we put Runicards to the test.
Runicards is a Brazilian game released in 2013 by Kalango Analógico.
The designer is Rovaldi Banchieri and we don't have credits for the artists.
Well, that's very Brazilian.
Yeah. So, is this a board game or a card game, Luciana?
It's definitely a card game, but with some board game components.
It's an adventure card game in which it's a fantasy world. You choose from 1 to 7 characters. It's a game for 1 to 7
players.
Yes. We have 8 characters here
you
because...
can play by yourself.
Yeah. It's not very fun, but you can.
Maybe. Did you try?
Yeah, I have. The game isn't designed for one player, although you can play with one player. The rules book, it says it's not going to be... You have to tweak the rules a little bit, and the instructions teach you how to do it. But we found, I think we played only the 2 of us, and we played with 2 more people. What do you think? You think it's better with...
It's better with 4.
Okay.
I think it's better.
So we have the characters here. We have the Master of Arms, the Monk, the Ranger, the Sorceress, the Paladin, the Druidess, I think, the Corsair, which is an 8th, the Thief, and the Corsair, which is an 8th character that I got because I participated in the Kickstarter of this game. So you choose your character, and you have levels here. So how does it work?
You start the game with your character at level 1. And you spend XP to evolve your character. Mm-hmm. And you have 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, in which you get more cards in your hand and more abilities, I believe. So you can spend your XP by buying treasure or more of the common cards as you can increase your speed or your
velocity, speed, velocity. Your damage, your speed.
Damage, speed, and hit points. Yeah. Or you can buy from one of your specialty cards some powers that only your character has. It's kind of a card drafting game because you start with a hand and you can use up to 3 cards in second level, 4 cards, third level, 5 cards, and you spend your cards in the round. Then you discard it and you pick up every card that you didn't use. You shuffle them together, and then you pick up 3 more cards. Yeah. But it's played on a board, as you can see here. And this is the monsters. These are the monsters.
Without the board. It's possible to play without the board, but the board aids you throughout the game because it has the rules on the board,
turn orders here, and
the places for everything.
Yeah, most monsters have some kind of ability, so the abilities are explained here and here. And here you have the places to put the 3 cards for the adventures, the scenario that is happening, the treasure, the monsters, and the challenges. So that's, I think, it's the round. You pick up a challenge. Sometimes it's something that happens to you. Sometimes it's something that happens to everybody. It's often bad. Sometimes good. Yeah. Then you choose...
It's always a challenge.
Yeah, that's why it's a challenge. Then you choose one of the 4 monsters that is in the board to fight. You have one round.
You have to fight.
You have to fight. You fight one of them. And if you defeat them, you have their cards. And they are worth an amount of XP. Yeah, it's like a trophy, but you spend them as XP. Yeah. As soon as a monster goes away, you pick up another one. And you can trade XP for, as I said, treasure or more cards for your hand.
Or to develop your character.
Or to evolve, yes. To evolve your card from level 1 to 2, then 2 to 3. And the game comes with 18 adventures right out of the box. And you have 3 cards of the adventure. You have the adventure itself, what happens, your motivation. Then you have the conquest, which is kind of a side quest. That if you complete it, you get extra stuff at the end of the game to fight the boss.
Make it easier, maybe?
To make it easier, yes.
The game easier.
And the last card is the lair, in which you fight the monster. So I put a lot of cards here, but don't really use all of those monsters here. You pick up 4 random monster cards per player, and then you see which monster is described here in the adventure. Is always a very powerful monster. You pick up its card and you shuffle them with the 3 last cards of the pile. So if we're playing with 6 people, you would have 30 cards here, and the monster is one of the last 4 cards.
4 cards, yeah.
And when the boss appears, you ignore all the other monsters and you start the final battle.
It's a cooperative game, so you have to pay attention to the other players and what they are doing, how they are spending their XP, their treasure, in order to cooperate to conquer the adventure and fight the monsters.
These are the most basic elements of the game. We're not teaching how to play the game. There's a lot more things to do, a lot more nuances. The rules book is 28 pages long. So this is just so you know what you're about to watch in our time lapse. Let's go to the time lapse and we get back in 30 seconds. So before we give our verdict if Runicards passed in the first play gauntlet, let's talk a little bit about our impressions of the game.
I need to thank Gustavo and Jaqueline that came to our house to play with us.
Yes.
Runicards.
And we forgot to do that for our previous game.
The singers.
Yeah. So those were Samantha and José Marcelo. Thank you. We need to remember to thank everybody who comes and plays and record those videos with us and maybe make a fool of themselves with us.
I believe it's a challenging game because the monsters are not easy monsters that you came and you came to the battlefield and you just use your sword and everything's okay.
Or spells.
They're very challenging and you have to pay attention the way you evolve your character and the way the other players are involving their characters, because we have some difficulties.
The first time we play.
I think we spend our XPs in a way that didn't. We
weren't talking to each other. What we should be doing. Like, you need to coordinate with everybody how they are evolving their characters.
It's a cooperative game.
Yeah, if not, you're gonna end up with a person with a lot of hit points and not enough powers. Somebody with a lot of very powerful treasures, but very few hit points or opportunities to use them.
And sometimes you can't fight the monsters. You have to choose the right character for the right monster.
Yeah.
It's important to observe the other players and the way they are evolving their characters. Mm-hmm. So it's a very, very cooperative game.
Yes. And I don't think it's the kind of game in which you have, I believe, what happens with a lot of cooperative games in which you have one person dominating everybody else, giving orders. I don't think it's possible.
Really difficult to do that, I think, because each character has its own characteristics.
Yeah, and a lot of text for everybody, so you wouldn't be able to tell what everybody else should do, right? Yeah. Also, something that I liked about this game, it leans very heavily on the theme. And I liked it a lot. I think it made an extraordinary work. Hovaldi made an extraordinary work in this game by mashing the rules with the setting. Sometimes you see games that the theme is just slapped on. It's not. It doesn't happen in Runicards or Runicards. That's I think you'd say in Portuguese is Runicards. Yeah. I believed we were a band of adventurers. Going after, I think one of the like it's a Balrog or a witch or a lair of basilisks, an evil druid. Yes, you feel that you are inside the game, roaming the wilderness and fighting monsters along the way, falling in traps or being cursed or finding rooms. And as you finally approach the lair, if you manage to do the conquest, something happens, and everybody, you breathe in the theme of the game. I believe. I think you can easily it's very easy to get into the suspense of disbelief in this game. I think. But one thing I have to complain about is the art. Not the fact that he doesn't credit the artists. Maybe it's the way he contracted the guys or the people. I believe there's two different artists here. One is very good. If you look into, for example, the Paladin art or the Balrog art or the Tiger Man, the art is very good. There's a freezing cranium here. The Corsair is great. The art of the Corsair is great. And some art is not so good. If you take the sorceress, for example, it's not very good art. The zombie is not very good art. The ranger is terrible. So they seem like, PlayStation characters. I believe it's two different artists. I wanted Rovaldo to have stuck to the artist who did this kind of art here. Mm-hmm. And full disclosure, this game is from 2013. In 2011, we had access to a beta version of the game. So when we got the game, I was kind of afraid that we wouldn't be able to use it as a first play video because we knew the game. But it changed a lot rules-wise. The game is completely different than what we played in 2011, except for the art. The art is the same.
Better.
Yeah,
this is better.
This game is better. Yes, but it's the same art. I think he commissioned the art. He paid the artist, and then he didn't want to commission anybody else again because it can be expensive.
Mm-hmm. There's another thing: the way the board folds.
Yes.
You can. I don't know if
I think you can see. Yeah, it doesn't fold very well.
It doesn't fold very well, and when you try to fold it, you see that it's.
Yeah, it's
this part and this part.
The glue is not holding very well.
Yeah, because I don't know the way they made it.
And if you try to unfold it for the first time, it's gonna either not fit or nick the tablecloth. Also, the way the cards come in the box, it's a very sturdy box, which is not very beautiful box with this gold here. It's not very common in Brazil for you to have a very sturdy box, but the cards come in decks. They were made by Cooperative, which is a very, very old, a more than 100-year-old company from Brazil that was recently bought by, I don't know the name of the company who prints Magic the Gathering cards. So very fine quality cards. But they come with this, and every deck came shrink wrapped, right? I think we have a tape of you, and it's kind of hard to put them together because all the heroes, you have to separate the heroes into the different boxes, and I don't know. I
don't think it's a problem just for the heroes because everything else matches the boxes.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with the fact that there are decks of cards inside the box.
No.
Box inside the box.
And I think it's easier to maintain the order in the box.
Oh, yeah?
Just everything separated.
Okay, so I think I didn't like it very, very, very much, but if you did...
it's organized.
It's better organized like this. Okay. Also, I have a complaint, which is very common. I think I made the same complaint about Runebound. Why is it that in fantasy games, all the ladies have to be sexy? Look at this. Look at the druidess, the sorceress, the thief. Why they have to be so scantily clad and in sexy poses? Look at the men. You can barely see their faces. The only one who looks stupid is the ranger, but I'll talk about it. None of the guys are sexy. Why is it that the ladies have to be sexy all the time? I think it takes points away from this game and from every game that does it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's sexist, and it has to go away.
And all the girls will freeze to death.
Yeah, they don't even wear, I don't know. They don't need to wear armor, but
all their guys will cook inside their...
Yeah, all the ladies have to show belly buttons. Yeah. So, okay. That aside, what did you think of the game, Luciano? Before we say what you think of the game, let's tell people they can't wait to know if the game passed the first play treatment. Did it pass, Luciana?
Yes.
Yes, but it almost didn't.
Almost. You have to read everything before you play. Initially, we had some doubts about the way the monsters will go on the board and some powers of the characters.
The monster in the lair, I think it was a little confusing because there was a lair with two monsters.
Yeah, but we didn't understand how the monsters exchange when you kill the monster, something like that. But Gustavo, Marcelo's brother, read all the rule book and he understood in the first time.
Yeah, so the game wasn't passing the first play test. But the last time they came here and we recorded a time lapse, we handed the instructions to my brother and we told him, you're going to read it and you're going to teach us how to play the game. I said the rules book is 28 pages long, but it's actually like the rules are actually like 15 pages. So it's very easy to read and play at the same time. And that's when he found the rules that were making us, the both of us, a little confused. And he had
the rules.
Yeah, because he had doubts. He himself have doubts of rule. He doubted some rules that we knew how to. Yeah. So we came to the conclusion that the rules are spread out. It's the first game that Kalango, the first board game that Kalango Analógico releases. Kalango Analógico has released 2 more board games after this one per year. They're doing very, very well, I believe. There's a second Runicards game, it's the same universe, but a different rules and a different, I think it takes place in the desert. It's more Egyptian themed, less medieval European fantasy, etc. But, I hope Rovaldo is doing very well with those games. It's the first time he makes the first time he made a board game, and I think it came out very professional. Yeah. Very well done. Game. Yeah. Unfortunately, you are required to understand Portuguese to play the game because every card has not only flavor text, which is a very good text. Flavor text is very well written, except for the Corsairs, a little silly, the Corsairs flavor text. I think it's a game that would thrive in the competitive American market. It's the kind of game that I would easily see my American friends playing.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun.
Yes, we did.
So that has been another installment of First Play.
We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it.
If you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the Gamerati YouTube channel.
I'm Marcelo.
I'm Luciana.
And we are the Gamerati.